Hey there, little kitties. My name is Soundwave. Would you like some... whatever. I don't even know what I'm doing. I was going to do a skip between, like, Soundwave and the Gundam Dynamis, and I didn't even think at all before I started doing it, and I just completely messed it up because I don't even have a clue what I was going to do. Welcome to... who even writes my scripts? Oh, wait, nobody. I don't even have any scripts, but, so you just got cheated out of a very, very, very good opening. I don't even, I wish I could do, like, opening skits and really, like, plan them out, and, pardon me, my nose is running. It's cold out today. It's snowing, actually. Well, it was snowing. See, take a look. Well, there's kind of, hang on, let's situate it here. Can you see that? See? Snow. Yep, it's snowing in Michigan. Just what we absolutely positively needed, snow. Hey, but the good thing about snow is then you can accessorize and put on, like, all sorts of jackets and coats and stuff, and, you know, fun stuff like that. You can't do that in the summer. You can't go around with a trench coat. Not that I have a trench coat. I want one. But you can't do that in the summer, or else you'll pretty much burst into flames because it gets hot in the summer. But yeah, so I wish I had myself a camera where I could actually edit stuff and do videos and little skits. But there's a Dynamis. See if we can get better focus here. Isn't he epic? This is like the second Gundam model kit I ever put together. The first one was the Gundam Leopard, or Leopard, depending on how you pronounce it. Oh man, excuse me. The first one was the Gundam Leopard, or Leopard, like I said. And I got that one just because I wasn't sure how hard it was going to be to put Gundams together. And then I started putting it together and I was like, this is a piece of cake, you know. But then I put together the Dynamis. And fun fact, I got these Gundams probably around 2008. I believe in 2008, because that's when Obama first got in, right? Because it was like the day of the election. I think I got the package in the mail with my first Gundams. And Gundams are actually pretty cool. I haven't put one together in a long time, but I mean, they just are awesome looking. Dynamis is probably my favorite Gundam. And then the Tallgeese. Because I always like sniping, and Dynamis is a sniper. But still, he's outfitted. I mean, the one thing that I didn't like about this kit is it didn't include your little, his little pistols. It included his beam sabers on his rear thrusters, but they didn't know beams, so you gotta get those somewhere else. That's the one thing I don't like about Gundams. They don't really include beams for their sabers. But anyhow, so that was pretty fun to put together. But yeah, back to my camera. What I was saying, I need to get a camera that I can actually edit video, because you know, I wanted to start doing some skits and opening stuff, but I can't edit with my iPhone because screw Apple, because their format and stuff is just ridiculous. I mean, maybe getting stuff off the phone is ridiculous, because I really can't put it on a computer to even try to edit it, because there's really no way to export it to my computer, so I have to upload it directly from the phone to YouTube. And the last, like, how many videos? Like 3 or 4 videos I've recorded from my phone, I've almost lost them in uploading them, which I do not like that at all, because, you know, then if you put half an hour into a video, which I mean isn't much work, but if you put that much time into a video and then you lose it during upload, it's kind of frustrating, especially if it's a video that you like. Not that I like any of my videos, but, you know, I'm home alone right now. There's nobody in the house, so I can yell at the top of my lungs, but what's the time? Okay, someone will probably be home in about 45 minutes, so you have 45 minutes to listen to me yak, yak, yak like a woman. So, getting past that, 3 minutes, 4 minutes into the video, we're getting on topic here. So we're going to get serious, and talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart. And that would be the Game Boy Advance SP. Now, I've already talked about this multiple times before in videos, but I decided I wanted to make a single video and dedicate it to the Game Boy Advance SP, and what was that? Error quotation marks. Woo! Rabbit ears. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. But, so I want to make one video and dedicate it just solely to the Game Boy Advance SP, and I'll probably make another one in the future because I like this system that much. It's just the same. I haven't mentioned the Third Birthday. Did I mention the Third Birthday is awesome? Buy it, play it, buy the soundtrack, buy a PSP, buy 2 PSPs, buy 15 copies of the Third Birthday, and a strategy guide for it. And then you're on your way to success, because people like you then. I mean, everybody hates that. Well, see, what I find funny is most games that I like to play... Is that a piece of flash on there? What the heck? Oh, I'm stuck in my Game Boy Advance SP! Oh my god! He's making me look ugly. most games that or some of the games I really, really like, critics are like, oh, that's a piece of shit. And I'm like, yeah, it's the most awesome thing in the world. Like, the 2 games for the PSP, Rengoku 2 The Stairway to Heaven, and The Third Birthday, game critics, well, look them up. A lot of game websites didn't rate them too high. I mean, maybe like, 6 or 7, but it wasn't like 8, 9, or 10. Legend of Zelda rocks! Pokemon rocks! Every single Mario game is awesome, right? Mario comes out, they come out with more games for Mario than they do Call of Duty. And, excuse me, I know I'm sniffling, but I can't help it. Let me get my face in focus here. I should probably close the window. It's too bright, whatever. I don't care about the lighting. You shouldn't either. I don't know, I could bring it down a little bit like so you get more my manly body and frame. But, like Call of Duty, they always get like 10s, or, I haven't actually looked up reviews for the most recent Call of Duties, but, like, they come out with Call of Duty and it's like, best game since the last Call of Duty. And the next Call of Duty will even be better than this one, so don't waste your money buying this. I thought it would be a funny marketing strategy if they were to announce, like, before the new Call of Duty comes out, they were to announce the next one, like, a week before. So they're like, we're already building up hype before we even release this one. I mean, that'd be stupid. That's basically what they do. I mean, I'm sure within the next couple months, we're Call of Duty Advanced Warfare 2, or Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Ghosts 2, or Call of Duty Ghosts of Warfare Modern Advance 2. Because I can't think of another number other than 2. That's as high as I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But, back when games were actually good, I mean, I probably mentioned this before, but in case you just tuned in to the Mr. Man channel, which, if you are, go somewhere else, because you don't watch my videos, or why do you watch my videos? Do you watch them to be informed? Absolutely not, because I'm not the most informed person. There's a lot of other people that know more facts than me. Do you watch them to be entertained? Obviously not, because I'm not entertaining. Do you watch them for my personality? No, because I'm dull. The reason why you do watch my videos is to be bored out of your skull, right? No, you watch them for me, because you like me. And that means all 133 subscribers of mine, at least last time I checked, was it 33? Something like that. I got some subscribers. I don't know if anybody really watches my videos. If they don't, who cares? I think the reason why I like making videos is because it's kind of fun to just archive a bunch of your thoughts and then sometimes go back when, you feel nostalgic, and just kind of look at some of the past work that you've done and see, how far you've came. I go back to some of my older videos, looking at them, and it's like, oh, at that time it was either a pretty good time in my life, which, for the past couple of years, I've been up and down, up and down, up and down. But, it's kind of fun to go back and see, it's almost like old pictures, looking through old pictures. People like doing that. The videos are kind of the same way. It's just a little more personalized because you actually have to sit down and take the time to record a video. And, and then you can see what you did. It's just kind of fun watching your old stuff. Maybe I'm the only one that does that, but... Anyway, so... where was I? Triple ugh. Quadruple ugh. Oh yeah, so... I haven't really played any modern game systems because, first of all, I don't want to spend $400 on a PlayStation 3... No, a PlayStation 4, pardon me, or an Xbox One. I don't want to spend that much. I spend that much on other stuff, like... That watch was almost $300. Some of my knives are like, $500, $600, $700. And some people would say, that's a waste, why don't you buy an Xbox for that price? And have some entertainment and get social with all your friends online. And first of all, I don't have any friends, so no one else I know plays Xbox. And, first, second, okay, I can't count. Okay, 2's as high as I can go, so I can only have 2 talking points. And secondly is, I've kind of went away from gaming. I was talking to one of our new crew the other day, and he was asking me, if I played games. I was like, kind of, I used to, but not anymore, because I play mainly some of the older games, on handhelds, because, first of all, consoles, you need to take up a whole TV to play that, and then some of the games you don't exactly want to play on full blast volume when your mom's in the house. Not that there's anything wrong with them, it's just tons of violence and gore and stuff. And I don't really like some of the really violent, brutal, and gory games. I like shooters, but that's it, That's it. But, so I don't like to monopolize the TV. Not that in our house we watch zero TV. We watch, DVDs and stuff, but we don't watch TV. We don't put on the TV. We don't watch TV, period. We didn't even watch the news. And we don't watch The Walking Dead or The Office or whatever it is. Seinfeld even, I don't even know. We used to watch TV back at our old house, but then when we moved here, we were just like, no, it's a waste of time. And it is. I mean, I'd rather put my time in other stuff, like nothing. But, and a lot of people I know, they watch full TV series in like one sitting. I'm like, I can't even play a game in one sitting. Now, I do like watching animes sometimes. I mean, even though I have not watched Trigun yet, I have not watched Phantom, Requiem for the Phantom, or whatever that is, or Phantom for the Requiem, or Requiem for the Phantom, or something like that. I don't know. It's one of those series. I got it. I just haven't watched it, and it's not that I don't have time. I just like killing time when I don't work. That is, I wish. I work about 40 hours a week, and then I get home, and I'm so tired. Even though I want to find another job, I don't even have the oomph to apply anywhere else, and that's kind of difficult because you can't. No one's just gonna hand you a job. But oh my god, my nose is so stuffed. It's not really stuffed, but you know. Oh, so you don't really. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Bleh, you can tell I'm tired. I don't know why I'm so tired today. I didn't drink down a full cup of coffee yet, but I'm just getting way off topic here. I'm just way off topic. Way in the ozone. Just like, I already went out today and trying to wake up, but some days it's just difficult because I worked over the weekend, and I really wish I had the weekends off, but now I'm working a lot, a lot on the weekends, and, well, I work Saturday. Now, first of all, I had to go home early Saturday. I was supposed to have a 5 to 1 shift, but because I stayed over early in the weekend, we can't have overtime, I had to go home at 10 o'clock when the store was pretty much in a huge mess. I had to leave a couple of the other managers in really bad position, but no overtime. So then Sunday when I went in, I was expecting it to be a very trashy day because first of all I had to work with my arch nemesis there. Someone home? Maybe not. I don't know. I had to work with my arch nemesis, and I'm like, this is going to be an awful day. I'm going to just quit. And then it was actually a pretty good day. So I'm like, man, I expect it to be a bad day, and then it's like a good day, Disappointing. But, so, and I get so tired, I can't apply anywhere else. I mean, there's a couple other jobs I want to apply for, but I'm like, I don't even have the energy to do it. So, I just kill time listening to music, because music's cool. Not the modern music, but like less friction and globalist, Within Temptation, all that cool stuff, not like Miley Cyrus and Beyonce and who else is there? Lady Gaga. Who else is there? I don't even know. I do not know anymore. Justin Bieber. When a guy listens to Justin Bieber, if you're a guy and you listen to Justin Bieber, please find a rope and hang yourself. Don't do that, because if you do it, don't come back at me. Because suicide is your choice, not mine. Oh man, we're getting dark now. So, the Game Boy Advance SP. We're going to review it. Because you came here to see a review of the Game Boy Advance SP 13 minutes ago. It's been 13 minutes and you're mad because it's like, it was supposed to be reviewed. Where's the review? I mean, I want to see the review. I mean, this guy is just talking about random stuff. I am Tolstoy's apprentice. Pretty much. Because I find I never used to be the way I was, but then I started watching his videos. And it probably seemed like I'm trying to copy him, and I'm not copying Tolstoy. There's a lot of stuff that I like about him, and I didn't think certain ways about stuff until I started watching his videos. And I was like, yeah, one thing too is kind of the way I dress now. I used to just put on t-shirts or whatever. I didn't care what I put on. I was what was I thinking the term? He calls them derp, but I'll call them, well, pretty much they're just lazy people. So lazy, I'll call them lassies. We'll call them lassies so that I can coin a new term, okay? So lassies, pretty much. I used to dress kind of like that. I mean, not really, but I didn't really care so much about what I put on. I mean, everybody always commented about us being nicely dressed. I mean, my whole family. One day, me and my brothers were out for a walk, and my mom, we were out for a walk. Yeah, because we're weird, we take walks with our mom. No one else would do that. We go shopping with our mom. Right now, my younger brother's with my mom shopping. And I used to do that too. And it's not, I mean, and people would think that we're nuts, but I actually like going shopping. As weird as that sounds. And everyone else would be like, I gotta be out with my friends, and they gotta come over and play playing Xboxes with me. And I'm like, nah, I don't have no friends because I was homeschooled and I hate people pretty much. When I went out today, I'm like, I don't like people. I'm out here. I'm trying to get out more, but I'm like, I don't like people because there's nobody. I should probably live myself emo and be done with it, but I'm not. 'Cause, you know, I'm not gonna put on makeup and black makeup. Anyway, so, where was we? Where was we? Ours was we. We were talking about. Oh yeah. Me being like Tolstoy, kind of. I didn't really care how I dressed. I mean, I just, put on a t-shirt, pants, that's it. But then I started watching his videos, and I was like, wait, so you really can dress, like, in suits and go out like that, and not just on special occasions? Because I used to dress up in a suit for Christmas and birthdays, and that was pretty much it. Maybe Thanksgiving, which we're coming up to. The one lady that I work with, she's like, Thanksgiving's right around the corner, right? I mean, she's been talking about Thanksgiving for, like, a month. I'm like, it's still a week and a half away. Something like that. It's like still a week and a half away, lady. I mean, this better not be the highlight of your year. Christmas can be. It used to be the highlight of my year, but now I'm like, nah, Christmas is just, There's actually not one single day in the year, really, that I look forward to. Not that I don't like any days in the year, but it's just, most people are like, Christmas, can't wait for it to get here! I'm like, it's Christmas, so what? It's another day. I get to wake up and, maybe get some presents, and that's it. But yeah, so I started actually liking the style. I saw him wearing just a suit vest. And I was like, yeah, it'd kind of be a nice accessory. It's not that hard. Just put it on, you look a little dressier. So I got myself a suit vest. It was a little bit too big. But still, that kind of started me on the trend. Then get some nice button-down shirts. And then, adding a couple sweaters, some nice jackets, stuff like that. And just kind of dressing nicer. And personally, I like that better than I do just kind of putting on whatever was laying around your house. Because it looks like you put some more thought into your attire. And attire, fancy word, huh? Fancy word coming from Mr. O'Man. And it looks like you put a little bit more thought into what you're doing, and then you don't look like such a slob. So yeah, and then I always used to kind of be funny. Yeah, right. You're like, you're not funny. I'm like, yes, I am. Please say I'm funny. But I got a pretty good sense of humor. I'm always joking around with people at work or at home. I mean, I'm crazier off the camera than I am on the camera half the time. You don't even see half of it. I mean, I get nuts sometimes. The other day I was out but when I get coffee in me, I'm crazy. Because the other day we all went out to the store. Yes, me, my brothers, my mom, and dad. Yes, all of us go out to stores. We don't go out with friends or anything. We like our family. Is that weird? Everybody thinks we're just crazy. Maybe we are, but I mean, it's like, we're happy. I think I am anyway, sort of. Could be. But, so we're out and my mom was like, oh, did you have coffee today? I was like, yeah, actually I did. I chugged down a bunch on break. But, because I was just being so goofy. But I like being goofy, I mean, it's like, if you're depressed, I mean, half the people, in the stores are like this. Hi. Thank you. I mean, they're just like so, or no, actually they don't even respond to you. I mean, all the people coming to where I work and they're like, or it's like, hello, welcome to blah, 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 blah. What can I get for you today? And I'm like, I'm like, so that's the number one? Okay, that's going to be whatever. And then they're like, hand the money over, and I'm like, thank you. And then shing, there's your change. And they're like, I mean, it's like, put some emotion into it. I mean, like, oh, thank you, and then when they leave, thanks, man, have a good day, or what, I don't know, just say something. I mean, just be nice. I mean, I try to be, I'm socially awkward, but I mean, I try to, tell people, have a nice day, or, thank you, I try to be nice, but I don't know. So, what were we talking about? I guess off track. Let's get back to what the video's about. Now we're 19 minutes into this. You are ticked if you came here to watch this, but, alright, so the Game Boy Advance SP. There was the previous generation. See, I'm talking like if you don't know anything about this, because if you don't know anything about the Game Boy Advance SP, you need to get a life. Or actually, I need to get a life. But, so, the Game Boy Advance SP. There was a previous generation of Game Boy before this. Well, there was the Game Boy, then the Game Boy Color, then you had the Game Boy Advance, and then the Game Boy Advance SP. The Game Boy Advance looks more... It looks kind of like the PSP. And if you don't know what PSP is, let me explain what a PSP looks like. A PSP looks like the Game Boy Advance. Logic much. So, the Game Boy Advance was long. It didn't... You had your screen, your buttons, and, you held it like the PSP. And That was good, but it didn't have a backlight. I never owned one, but it didn't have a backlight, and the screen wasn't really protected. So Nintendo came up with this brilliant idea, and they were like, well, why don't we have the screen fold, and then you can have all your buttons in your screen, and then when you're not using it, it folds up, nice and compact, and then your screen's protected, which is actually a pretty brilliant idea. And then they use the same idea for the DS. Pretty much Game Boy Advance SP, or Game Boy Advance is like the DS minus the top screen. So they figured, okay, so let's, fold it up, and, so you can have your screen protected, and then it'll make it a little more compact. And then on top of that, well, the Game Boy Advance added to the Game Boy Advance library of stuff and buttons. They added the L and R buttons on top. So you got 2 extra buttons for functions in games. This is not a review. This is just this is what the thing is. Watch it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, click off. So for button-wise, okay, so you have your L and R buttons up here, which I actually find these are probably some of my favorite L and R buttons out of any system, because the Nintendo DS Lite, they were more clicky, but me and my brothers had a lot of problems with those. I don't know what it is, but like them busting or just not functioning correctly. It's just kind of odd, but these are kind of squishy, because you can't really hear them click, but I've never had any problems with the Game Boy Advance SP L and R buttons. So that's all your buttons for there. On your side, you have your volume rocker on your left side here. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. On the right side, you have yourself a power button. Power buttons are not actually that important, because you can play the system with no power. But all right. So and then yeah. So then you have your A and B buttons right here. And your control pad, which is the best control pad out of any gaming system I've used, because it is completely 8-directional. Some control pads like the Nintendo DS Lite or the PSP, the control pad, in order to do like diagonal motions, it's really difficult because of the way the buttons are set up. And this control pad is a little bit more flatter. It's not as raised. And I think that is part. I'm tripping over my words. That's part of it. I lost my train of thought. I hate that. I'm so tired. It's like I only get 1 day off. I got 1 day, then I gotta go back to work tomorrow. And I'm like, seriously, I don't have time to recuperate. This is not the way you should do a video. So you have an 8-directional control pad here. Then you have your start and select buttons down here, and then you have your light button, which is a nice feature in case you want to save battery power. You can turn your light off, or if you're playing outside, you can turn it off, and you'll have yourself battery saving functions because, save the planet. And then down here you have your slot for your games, which I have Mario vs. Donkey Kong in it. So, on top of me really liking the Game Boy Advance hardware, oh man, it is snowing outside. Ching, 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 ching. Let's drop it. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Still a ways away. I hope that, it actually is nice out there. I should take a walk outside. You can be healthy. So, on top of the Game Boy Advance having very good hardware, it got the best hardware in my opinion, and it's very sturdy. I have not, excuse me, I have not had any issues with the Game Boy Advances. Out of the 4 Game Boy Advance SPs that we have in our house, I own 2. This is my second one, the Cobalt Blue. I got a black. Racist! A black Game Boy Advance SP, which is my first one, and then my two of my brothers have Game Boy Advance SPs, so black as well. And out of the 3 of us, we haven't really had any issues. The only issue that we've had has been like battery issues where the battery doesn't stay charged for that long. But I mean, after so many cycles, obviously, we haven't replaced any of the batteries in our Game Boy Advance SPs, so. I mean, how old are they? It came out like 2002 or something. I can't remember. This is why you don't come to me to be... 2002 Nintendo. This is why you don't come to me to be informed, because I don't know. There's Wikipedia for a reason. But, so, out of all of ours, we haven't really had any issues. Now, out of the DS Lites we've had, oh man, we went through so many of those stupid things. I mean, mine, I'm very careful of mine, and I still had issues. I've had a control pad or actually 2 of the buttons on the control pad are kind of all squishy. It's like the rubber clicky pad tore through, and I'm like, seriously, Nintendo. And then the L and R buttons, excuse me, I don't know, our buttons are kind of funny. My one brother, I think he went through actually 2 or 3 Nintendo DS Lites. I mean, it just seems like their quality kind of went down. But the Game Boy Advance SPs, you can still find them on eBay for fairly cheap, and they're pretty sturdy. So, all right, now getting into a little bit of history about the Game Boy Advance with me. History at 25 minutes. The Game Boy Advance SP was actually my first gaming system. Next to the computer. Actually, one of the first gaming systems that our household ever owned. And the way I went about actually realizing that I wanted one was I was watching, I don't know how long ago it was, but Home Alone. The first Home Alone, the good one. The second one was pretty good, and then I haven't watched the third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh or eighth or ninth one. I don't know how many there are, but the first one was pretty good. I actually liked it. But in there when they're getting ready to go to the airport and they're in the car and they're counting everybody, or I forget exactly what they're doing in the scene. But there's a kid and he's playing. It was like the original Game Boy, or Game Boy Color, or one of those. And I saw it and I was like, that's that's pretty fun. Or it seems like it would be pretty cool. I mean, do some research into it. And by research I mean like figure out what it was, because I don't think we had the internet, but I didn't really use the internet a lot back then. But I remember looking in, I think it was a Myers sale paper, and they had a Game Boy Advance SPs for $100. So I think it was my mom that ended up picking it up. Because, me being little, it's like, yeah, your parents do everything for you. So she ended up buying that for me and went to Toys R Us. My first game was BattleBots. Beyond the BattleBox? There's two BattleBots games. I can't remember. BattleBots Beyond the BattleBox? Or Design Destroy? No, maybe it was Design Destroy. I can't remember. But it was one of the BattleBot games. And I actually wanted to buy Alpha Team for the Game Boy Color for the Game Boy Advance, because it is snowing out there. That was one of the also main reasons why I wanted to buy a Game Boy Advance, because we had Alpha Team for the computer, and I really liked playing that game, but I hated sharing the computer with my brothers. I wanted just something so I could play it whenever I wanted to, and I didn't have to wait for my turn. So, greedy me. I never actually got Alpha Team for the Game Boy Color. My brother actually did, and see, the thing I didn't realize about, or back then, is that even though it's the same game on, the Game Boy Color and the computer, they're different. It's not the exact same game. Like nowadays, if you buy Call of Duty for the PlayStation 3, the Xbox, or the computer, it's going to be the same game. But back when systems weren't like as powerful as they are now, you could buy the same game for 2 systems, and there was different gameplay experiences. The graphics weren't as good or stuff like that. You buy Nightfire for the GameCube and then you buy it for the Game Boy Advance, you're gonna have a different experience. Or if you buy Nightfire for the GameCube and the computer, they're still gonna be different. So that was back when games were like that. So you can almost buy the same game twice and actually have 2 different experiences. Or like another example is Everything or Nothing for the Game Boy Advance and Everything or Nothing for the GameCube. Everything or Nothing. I can't say that. My brother has that for the GameCube, and I got it for the Game Boy Advance. 2 totally different games. The Game Boy Advance is the top-down kind of style, and the GameCube is a complete third person. So, you're going to have different experiences. But that's what kind of made it fun. But anyway, so I got BattleBots, and I didn't expect to buy a lot of games, or I didn't plan on buying a lot of games, but then I bought BattleBots, and then I bought Scooby-Doo, and I hated that game because it was just too difficult. But then I actually... Back when I started buying games, I didn't quite have the knowledge I had about playing stuff. So, if this is making any sense whatsoever, when I bought GoldenEye for the GameCube, okay, let's use that for instance. That was my first GameCube game, and I found that the most frustrating game in the world, because I just go charging out and get killed by a bunch of guys. You run out and then you just get shot and you're dead. It's like, oh, this is so difficult. And then in time you learn, okay, so if you hide behind stuff and use strategy and stuff, use different strategies, it makes it a whole lot simpler. And a lot of games I'm playing now that I think, wow, this is a really easy game, if I would have played it like 10 years ago, I would have been getting frustrated at it. Like what do you call it? Like some games, like the Metroid games, now they're a piece of cake to go through, but back then, they were really difficult. And anyway, that brings us back to the biggest hiccup I had with the Game Boy Advance SP, which was, and this is like the biggest drama I've ever had with gaming, so be prepared for something that you're going to be like, wow, this is stupid, but I'm like, yeah, but this was a big deal back then. So I bought BattleBots, and then I bought Scooby-Doo, and then I bought, I think, Drone Racers, Lego Drone Racers, and then I made the best decision, but also the worst decision, and that was, the stores. Remember when stores used to have game testers? Well, me neither. I don't even know if they have those anymore because people were stealing them and they were getting all destroyed and stuff. But back in the Game Boy Advance was on testers. They had this little known game called Metro Zero Mission. I didn't know anything about it, but I started playing it whenever we go to the stores, and I was like, this is actually a pretty fun game. So I ended up getting that, and back in that time when I was a little stupid kid, I thought that you were like playing inside a person, and there was like all these organs and everything was all disgusting and gross, and I was like, oh, and what a brain, and it got too much for me, and I ended up selling that game. Or actually, I bought Fusion, and then I ended up selling Zero Mission and Fusion, just because it was like not giving me nightmares, but almost. I couldn't handle the games anymore, so I sold them, and I took the money and I bought Hot Wheels World Race, and then after that I bought a bunch of Game Boy Advance games. I mean, and some of them were good, but none of them. I kept trying to find a Zero Mission because I love that game. But I love Zero Mission, but then when I bought Fusion, it just got too much for me, so I sold them. But I really like Zero Mission. So I kept trying to find a game like that, and I couldn't find it. Well, finally when I grew up and realized, okay, it's not that big of a deal, I ended up buying them again. And which Zero Mission is the best video game, period. Everything about it. It's short, but it's the perfect length, in my opinion. It has, visual-wise, it's perfect. The graphics are great. It's side-scroll, but the backgrounds are amazing. Everything about it's amazing. The character design, the creatures, everything. The music is perfect. Zero Mission is some of the best music. It's just an overall perfect game. And if I had to choose the most perfect game, that would be it. And then Fusion's not far behind it. Zero Mission and Fusion kind of the same because they're the same sort of style, same system, just different stories, a little bit different physics, but they're basically the same game. And I'm just rambling on here, but so anyway, those are good. And out of the Metroid games, I like the Prime games. I played Prime 1, Prime 2, not Prime 3 or Metroid Other M because I don't have Wii because I'm a loser. But the Prime games are okay. Hunters for the DS is really, really good, but it's not the same as Zero Mission and Fusion because, in my opinion, the Metroid games were side-scroll at first, so the best Metroid games are side-scroll. Which, I mean, and not saying that the 3D is bad, but it's just, the best is the side-scroll one. So, anyway, I don't know where I was going with this, but, so, yeah, okay. What I was getting to is that the Game Boy Advance has some of the best games. I mean, you got Superstar Saga, you got Zero Mission, Doom 2, which I had a bootleg copy of that. I want to get a real one because mine kind of stopped working. You got the Doom games. You got, I mean, there's just too many to name right now. But I mean, there's some good games, and not Pokemon because I haven't played Pokemon in the Game Boy Advance because that's just catch 'em all. No, Pokemon just doesn't speak to me. So anyway, that's my long, random, useless video on the Game Boy Advance SP. I probably, if I would have... listen to that squeak. If I would have had more energy, I could have put more effort into this, but I am just so drained with work recently. I mean, I just want to go to sleep. It's just stupid. I gotta find something else or another job because I really want to do YouTube videos and I want to make good videos, but with being so tired with work, I just can't. And that's depressing because I don't want to put content up here that's just useless. I mean, I try to put some effort into it. Like today, I woke up and I'm like, I'm so tired, I don't even want to do anything. But then I woke up, got out, drank some coffee, trying to get a bit of energy, but it's just, that stuff is killing me. Hey, but it's my first job, so, at least they're giving me a chance, because the job market, I mean, it's not that great, but I at least got some work experience now, so it'll be easy to find something else. Anyway, hope you have a good day. Hopefully my next video will be a little bit better than this, See ya.